to honor.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Sarah Stories. I'm Sarah Hill. In just 1 year, Central Missouri Honor Flight has given more than 600 World War II veterans an honor flight experience. And already, at least 12 of those veterans have passed away. That's the urgency behind getting these men and women to Washington, D.C. to see their memorial before it's too late. Right now at the KOMU TV8 studios, there's a group of military moms standing by to take your phone calls. The number to call is 573-884-4537. It costs $300 to adopt a veteran for an honor flight experience. And here in Missouri, we are losing our World War II veterans at a rate of 20 a day.
When I come home, there was nobody.
We're so pleased. You just don't expect anything like that.
You got your bag?
Because there's no jetway at the Columbia Airport, and some of these vets can't walk up steps to get on a plane, Central Missouri Honor Flight takes off via Southwest from St. Louis.
You can lean on me if you need to.
On board, 71 veterans who are living pieces of history. As teenagers, they patrolled Nagasaki after the atomic bomb.
They said I had plutonium in my blood, in my system.
And we loaded ships up in the Aleutian Islands. And it took me from January of 20th of 43 to February the 26th of 46, and I earned $2 a day all that while.
Also on board, Ted Kowiak of Sunrise Beach. During World War II, Mr. Kowiak fought in 9 invasions, liberated POWs from the Bataan Death March. Away from his family for 3 years, he described the pain of missing birthdays. And once home, being told he would have to pay for his medals.
In fact, they told us I could have about 7 different medals. I had to buy them if I wanted to wear them.
During the war, Mr. Kowiak didn't get to meet his child until he was 3 years old. Ted Kowiak Jr. grew up to be a St. Louis detective.
I carried his Lexus here with me, and I lost him about 6 years ago. He died from a heart attack.
On this honor flight, 3 years of missed memories, one father wishes he could have back. Nothing may ever replace missed birthdays, but on this honor flight,
Thank you, sir.
Ted Kowiak made a new memory.
I'm going to be 90 in July. They said it'd bring tears to your eyes. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. Because I was gone so long.
Send Mid-Missouri veterans on an honor flight by donating to Central Missouri Honor Flight, care of KOMU 8, Highway 63 South, Columbia, Missouri 65201. Or donate now with your credit card by calling 573-884-4537. Moms of Mid-Missouri soldiers are standing by to take your calls.
They have spent 65, 70 years in most cases not talking about their experiences. And they get to sit on buses and planes with fellow veterans who also understand what it was like.
We still have veteran applications coming in every day from World War II veterans who want to see their memorial before it's too late, and our coffers are basically empty. So we really need to raise the money so that we can fly this fall again and take more veterans to see their memorial.
Right now at the KOMU TV8 studios, we have a group of moms of military soldiers currently serving, standing by to take your phone calls. The number to call is 573-884-4537. If you get a busy signal, please keep trying. Central Missouri Honor Flight has taken 10 trips to Washington, D.C. in just the last year. And on one of those trips, a son wrote a letter to the Honor Flight veterans asking that they touch some part of the World War II memorial and speak his father's name. That son has an interesting perspective on freedom.
Dear honored veteran, when the title Greatest Generation was applied to you and your fellow soldiers, many would not know the full meaning of it until there was some current history to compare your sacrifice and service.
They've been home from the war for about 65 years, but never received a welcome like this.
Thank you.
Passengers put down their carry-ons to clap for 21 grateful minutes.
You just don't expect anything like that.
Thank you.
They made tears in you. Amazing, I couldn't believe it. Tears.
I was very, very close to tears. Never done anything like that.
On the bus ride to Washington, D.C., a letter from a son.
My father fought in North Africa and Germany, winning a Purple Heart as if it were a prize, and a Bronze Star. He never boasted about it.
In fact, I only found out about it shortly before his death in 1992. When you get to the memorial in Washington, D.C., would you please speak his name out loud as you touch some part of the memorial? In his memory and for his sacrifice, please recall his service.
I don't consider myself a hero, but those are the fellows who didn't come back.
D-Day veteran William Hill fought during 5 campaigns and chose to place the son's letter by a granite inscription.
Here we mark the price of freedom.
Freedom.
So many still take for granted what you all did for the United States of America.
The letter I placed here at this monument was written by a man who is in prison here in the state of Missouri. And ironically, he is proud of what the men did in World War II to preserve freedom, something that he does not enjoy like we do, but he still enjoys the freedom that came from World War II. God bless him.
When the title Greatest Generation was applied to you and your fellow soldiers, many would not know the full meaning of it until there was some current history to compare your service and sacrifice.
The letter writer is an inmate at the Jefferson City Correctional Center, serving a life prison sentence for murder.
I wasn't born until after the war was over, but every advantage for freedom I still enjoy to this day are possible because you laid down your life for me.
A man who admits he squandered the freedom these veterans fought so hard to preserve.
I'm a fortunate one. I love this country, and I'd do the same thing again. God bless this man who took the time to write the letter.
To apply for the Central Missouri Honor Flight, go to KOMU.com or pick up a hard copy application at the TV station on Highway 63 South in Columbia. Or donate now with your credit card by calling 573-884-4537. Moms of Mid-Missouri soldiers are standing by to take your calls.
My father, growing up in the Netherlands, escaped in World War II from the German army And my mother, whose parents were missionaries in Indonesia, was captured by the Japanese and spent 4 years in a prisoner of war camp. If you folks hadn't done what you did and made the sacrifices that you made, I might not be here.
It's kind of breathtaking. There's no question. I feel like this is hallowed ground.
Thank you for your service. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Volunteers handed out American flags at the entrance of the World War II Memorial. There's no admission. As veterans, they've already paid the ultimate price. Fred Bethman of Bell was stationed at Sugamo Prison,
Where all the Japanese war criminals were.
It was his job to stretch the rope for the hangman's noose. He was one of the last people to see Japanese dictator Tojo alive. He came to the memorial carrying a photo of a dear friend who didn't live long enough to see his memorial.
A young couple at our church had said, "Oh, it's so beautiful." And my reply was, "This poor old man will never see it." Now I'm here. So it does mean something, a whole lot.
It's a real nice honor to be able to come down here and see all this.
The World War II Memorial includes 56 granite pillars, one for each state and territory from the time.
Be sure to get Missouri in the background.
A bronze rope connects each of these states, symbolizing the unprecedented unity of the nation. Veterans pose for pictures in front of the Missouri pillar with children who might have grown up to speak German or Japanese had it not been for their great-grandpas.
Thank you so much, guys.
Beneath these 17-foot pillars, young people formed a line to shake the veterans' hands.
Thank you for your service.
I just never thought I never thought about being respected like that, and to find that people are thinking about it, young people who weren't there are thinking about it, really gives me hope. A lot of us have given up on the younger generation, so to speak, and with good reason. They forgot we ever existed, and now they prove different. But it took a long time, just like his memorial. It took forever, but it's worth it. I'd do it again. Any man here will tell you the same thing. He'd do it again tomorrow, because he's doing it for you.
If you have a father, grandfather, great-grandfather, anybody that was in World War II, that's the best thing they can do is send them up here.
At the Iwo Jima Memorial, 32-foot-high figures honor a time when uncommon valor was plentiful. The sculpture captures the 1945 Joe Rosenthal Pulitzer Prize-winning photograph of Marines raising a flag atop Mount Suribachi. The image is particularly moving to some of these honor flight veterans because they were there.
My father was in World War II, didn't live long enough to see his memorial, and my son is in the Marine Corps.
At the Air Force Memorial, veterans took photos of the 270-foot stainless steel contrails.
Very powerful.
We found this guardian and veteran admiring a quote about valor.
My father was a World War II veteran. He fought in the European theater. He went in on Omaha Beach D-Day plus 28.
Mary Wolfe had planned to take her father on this honor flight, but he died before she had the chance. Throughout the trip, she rarely let go of his roommate's hand.
Martin and I became friends when he moved into the residential facility my parents were living in, Meadow Ridge Estates in Moberly. And I became friends with him, and he was very supportive during the loss of my father. My father died on my parents' 63rd wedding anniversary, July 12th, this past summer. But Martin and I came ahead and came here.
Too many names.
At the Vietnam Wall, family members made etchings of some of the 58,000 names. This Jefferson City Vietnam veteran says he still suffers from exposure to Agent Orange. Mike Beck paid his own airfare to push wheelchairs on this honor flight. In the shadow of a billowing flag, this former soldier gave thanks that on this day, the wind was blowing.
Cheers me up. And the wind helps dry the tears.
Welcome back to a special edition of Sarah Stories, called To Honor.
I'm glad that he's appreciated while he's alive. I think that's a very, very big gift that they're giving him.
Central Missouri Honor Flight doesn't fly in the summer because it's just too hot for the veterans in Washington, D.C. But organizers say if they can secure enough donations, they will resume flying in the fall. Right now at the KOMU 8 studios is a group of military moms of soldiers serving in Afghanistan, Iraq, elsewhere around the world. The number to call is 573-884-4537. Your donations are tax deductible. And for at least 12 mid-Missouri veterans, a Central Missouri Honor Flight came just in time. The Missouri Veterans Commission estimates there are 56,000 World War II veterans in Missouri. But most won't live long enough to see their memorial in Washington, D.C. Of the more than 600 mid-Missouri veterans who've had the chance to experience the free program called Honor Flight, at least 12 have already passed away. Joseph Lafferty of Centralia, Lou Caldwell of Mexico, George Anglin of Columbia experienced one last memory with his son. George Garber of Gravois Mills shook hands with Senator Bob Dole. At their funerals, it's not uncommon to see their Honor Flight T-shirts displayed right alongside their war medals. George Bredding of Columbia saw his memorial just last year. Cancer took him just days later. In Washington, D.C., Art Finney of Jefferson City got to salute his grandson one last time. Ed Riley also got to see his memorial before he died last fall. The veterans often ask why people they don't know would stay up late, standing for more than an hour, just to applaud their return. For most, it's the last welcome home these World War II veterans will ever receive.
I was totally surprised, to be honest. Really was. I didn't expect none of this.
They told me it's 78 motorcycles and city police picks us up here too. Most times you're on a stop sign, you get tickets. we made it, didn't we? Yeah, that was something else. That was one hell of a welcome, I'll say that.
And if you would like to apply, adopt a veteran, or volunteer to help a Central Missouri Honor Flight, you can go to our website at KOMU.com and click on the Honor Flight logo. There you can print off those applications. Or you can pick up hard copy applications at the KOMU TV8 studios on Highway 63 South. Thanks for watching this special edition of Sarah's Stories on the Central Missouri Honor Flight. Honor Flight hopes to resume flying this fall. Phone lines remain open until 11 p.m. tonight.
Central Missouri has been very, very gracious and very generous in helping us get this job done. This is not a long-term project. It needs to happen now.
But we owe them so much. I mean, everything that we have today, the freedoms that we enjoy, all of that is thanks to the World War II veteran.
Here we mark the price of freedom.
Freedom.
So many still take for granted what you all did for the United States of America.
The letter I placed here at this monument was written by a man who is in prison here in the state of Missouri. And ironically, he is proud of what the men did in World War II to preserve freedom.